What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we're going to be gentlemen and talk about the women's side of March Madness. Not just because it's over, but, we gentlemen around here. Like ladies go first. Ladies go first. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's start it off here with the Final Four. Now, I think last time, I gave y'all my updates, my predictions, if you will. And I thought UConn was going to actually beat South Carolina. If I'm just called a spade, I thought they might win this game. And, well, they tried. they tried. UConn ends up losing to South Carolina 62-48. The game was actually a little closer than what the point total just shows, though. That delta ain't really accurate across the board. I'm talking about as much as, at halftime, UConn, I think, was up 2. It was a tight game, 26-24, favoring UConn. The things that I noted about that first half, it was a tight game because, the best players on both teams kind of struggled. Joyce Edwards goes 3 of 11, that for 6 points, 4 rebounds, no assists, 1 steal, no blocks. Sarah Strong gives you 3 of 10, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Sarah looking like she's doing okay, even though both players aren't doing too well. Mind you, Sarah Strong's on UConn's team, Joyce Edwards on South Carolina's team. Next quarter, Joyce actually showcased a little bit more scoring than Sarah did. And actually, Sarah didn't score another bucket in the third quarter. Now, she had 8 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks, to Joyce's 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. But, ladies and gentlemen, we need to see a little bit more out of Sarah scoring the ball wise. Because South Carolina, they ended up commanding that lead in the third quarter and pretty much held it the rest of the way. Now, I think we got to point out the fact that a young lady by the name of Kaylee Heckle, right? She probably will be heckled after her 2 blunders at the end of the game, because this was a critical point in time where, UConn could have came back, and she gets 2 critical turnovers, and it's just not a good look. We could talk about the vast free throw disparity favoring South Carolina, okay, where it was 22-6. Again, 22 free throws for South Carolina and 6 free throws for UConn. As a Duke fan, I've heard about the free throw disparity. Something like that can be a little glaring. But, I personally thought, too, that South Carolina was out-hustling UConn. Then we got to look at Agate McCure. She ends up scoring 9 points straight for South Carolina. UConn, they didn't just lose it then. South Carolina kind of took it, if I'm to be honest with y'all. Because, again, they showed more effort. And I told y'all before this game started, I'm going to be paying attention to a couple of things, like the coaching matchup. And I think Dawn Staley's team was more energetic than Gino Auriemma's team. Now, it's funny because at the end of the game, Gino became a little more energetic than Dawn did. Something about apparently Dawn didn't shake hands. I don't know what Gino was on. It's tough losing, all right? Trust me, I understand. It's a lot of emotions going on. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, this was by far the most entertaining game of the day. Again, 62-48. It wasn't as indicative of how the game really went. Personally, it was the largest disparity over the 2 games in the Final Four. So shout out South Carolina. We'll probably see UConn back at some point in time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and go on to the next game, which was Texas versus UCLA. Again, ladies and gentlemen, these were all number 1 seed teams. So you're expecting a little bit of animosity, a lot of entertainment from all 4 teams. Now, I thought Madison Booker for Texas was going to end up being the best player on the floor. I thought there was a world where that actually happened. I'm not ignorant for saying that, too, because if y'all know who Madison, Booker, however you want to call it, she's a mid-range specialist. She's even called Maddie mid-range specialist. You know what I'm saying? Like that, she's the mid-ranger of the Power Rangers, if you want to give her something. She's a bucket getter, ladies and gentlemen. She's getting compared to the likes of Kevin Durant. She wears the same jersey number, and she attends the same college that KD attended. She's getting compared to him quite nicely. Well, she was kind of trash offensively. Let's just call a spade, okay? She was kind of trash offensively. Now, to be clear, she averages 19 points a game. UCLA did a wonderful job of holding her to 6 points. But going 3 of 23 was kind of interesting. To be clear, Maddie hits her first bucket. It was nice, a pull-up, mid-range, in the middle of the court, like cash, butter, draws. And then after that, it just gets loosey-goosey the whole way. She couldn't even average a field goal made per quarter. That's wild. From somebody who averages 19 a game, that's crazy. And let's be clear too, ladies and gentlemen, okay? UCLA wins this game 51-44. If you look at the stats across the board, they're kind of similar. Like, they really are. Like, we're talking about field goals made. Forget about field goals attempted. Wow. But the field goal attempted disparity is quite high. But field goals made. Texas made 20. UCLA made 18. How did they win this game? It's just crazy. UCLA makes 4 threes to Texas's 2. Now, the free throw disparity might end up being what happened, because you get 12 free throw attempts for UCLA and 5 for Texas. And that's where you kind of get that 7-point differential between 51 and 44, right? But everything else was kind of lined up. Like, the turnovers actually favored Texas, because UCLA had 23 turnovers in this game. So the fact that they had they almost doubled the amount of turnovers that Texas did, and they win the game still. I hate to put this on Maddie. I really, truly do. But like a lot of it has to do with Maddie. Again, you go 3 of 23. Your team should lose. Now let's be mindful of this though. Texas only lost by 7. So that's not too bad. That free throw delta, like I said, it was by the margin of 7 attempted. And then we're talking about made, well, 9 was the difference. But that's a lot. And in the first quarter, too, let's be clear, when we're talking about scoring, there was an 8-point delta favoring UCLA. That was the largest gap of the entire game. Texas actually wins a quarter. Then they tied the third quarter, and then they lose the fourth by 4. So you win the second, tie the third, lose the fourth and the first. It's not too terrible. Like, they could have won this matchup. I thought Roy Harmon was going to have a breakout game, and she did pretty well. She did okay. She was effective. She was an effective two-way player. And I think, honestly, if Maddie performs half of what she usually does, Texas wins this game. And again, I hate it because Roy was hooping, bro. 5 assists, 4 steals, 8 points. She could have scored a little bit more efficiently, but her effort on the floor was top tier. And then when we're looking at, the player of the game, I think it was, in fact, Lauren Betts, because, yes, she did have 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and 3 blocks. But how she played against Texas's bigs was big itself. It was quite grandiose. Because remember now, ladies and gentlemen, they have some height on their team. And there's a saying, you can't teach height. Well, Lauren Betts just proved, even though they have height on their team, Lauren can still, it's good if you bet on Lauren Betts. That's what she said, all right? When anybody going 7 of 10 in a Final Four game against quality defenders, that's not bad, ladies and gentlemen. So again, UCLA and South Carolina, both these teams impressed me during the Final Four matchups. Texas, I saw how they could win. UConn, I saw how they could have won. Sarah didn't give enough on the offensive end, and as a result to it, they kind of struggled. Now, again, keep in mind, South Carolina's Joyce Edwards didn't do that well either. She went 5 of 14, so the game was winnable, but here's the problem. Again, UConn didn't have anybody to step up. Ergo, South Carolina ended up winning this game. So when we're talking about the championship game, South Carolina versus UCLA, ladies and gentlemen, we got to give a kudos to UCLA for putting belt to tail. Like, this was pure BTA work. If you understand, like, belt to head. That's what we talking about. 79-51. And quite frankly, like, that third quarter was, oh my gosh. Actually, the third quarter was worse than the first. Because the first quarter, UCLA goes up 21-10. You're thinking maybe South Carolina can come back. They lose by 2 the second quarter. That third quarter, South Carolina only puts up 9 points to UCLA's 25. You know it's bad at that point in time. Now, UCLA hasn't won a title since 1978. As a matter of fact, their head coach has been coaching UCLA for 15 seasons as a head coach. That's the longest head coaching tenure being had in college basketball. At least, I know specifically from my tale, I have not heard that where you keep your job. Like I just told y'all how coaches like John Shire should potentially lose his job after 6 seasons. And he's been kind of decent. Hubert Davis lost his job after 5. Like, what? Coach Calipari lost his, after, 10 to 12? So, again, UCLA kind of doing all right from a coaching perspective in terms of that tenure. And, again, like I told y'all, ladies and gentlemen, UCLA, this game, they just solidified her coaching tenure for the rest of her life. As long as she wants to coach, she's going to be cool. Because UCLA, in the first half, they up by 13. Then in the second half, in the third quarter with 5 minutes left, they go up 48-26. I told y'all the point to score, the point delta, 79 to 51. That's a lot of disparity right there. And mind you, this game was the amount of damage that was done was early on when Lauren Betts wasn't even playing. She comes in for a little bit, but then for some reason she had to go out of the game. That's when UCLA goes on their run. Now, we got to look at this, too, because apparently UCLA took 6 more field goal attempts and made 10 more field goal attempts. And I want to say that might have been... No. They took 7 more field goal attempts and made 12 more. That's disgusting work. South Carolina got to the free throw line more than UCLA. That's just bad. South Carolina's pressure, it wasn't sufficient versus UCLA. Joyce Edwards, hey, man, this was an underperforming game and a half, I'll say. Because we go again with 3 for 10. Now, she does a little bit better all-around game, but she only gave 8 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, and gave 2 turnovers. We can't have that. Your best player can't be playing like that. Also, nobody else really wanted to step up for South Carolina outside of Tessa Johnson and Agate McKeer. Both of them shot relatively efficiently. Tessa gave 14 points. Agate gave 11. Nobody else really did their thing. But against UConn, they were smooth, though. So Taniyah Lotson, Raven Johnson, the fact that y'all couldn't do better than what you guys did, that does hurt. We've seen these seniors play for quite a while, and I was expecting a little bit more. I can't hold you. I'm not trying to get too... I'm not trying to go at them too much. I'm just saying, though, when you only got 4 points and 3 points for both of y'all players and 2 buckets made between the 2 of them, that's kind of crazy. Remember, Taniyah Lotson, wasn't she a 20-point per game scorer at one point in time? You know what I'm saying? Bro, in her career, she was a 25-point per game scorer, and then 21 points per game, then 21 points. Her freshman year, ladies and gentlemen, she was averaging 21. That's the real 21 Savage right there. That's crazy work. So the fact that we can't get more than what she did, that I don't know whether that speaks volumes on Taniyah or whether that speaks volumes on UCLA, because one, she only took 5. She only took 5 field goal attempts, and Raven took 7. And it's funny because Raven actually be the one that's supposed to be playmaking more so. Got no assists. They just had South Carolina all discombobulated. Ladies and gentlemen, this was bad. And we gotta give shout outs to arguably the best player of the game, which was Gabriela Jaquez. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, her brother plays in the NBA. This is Jaime Jaquez Jr.'s sister, right? But she kind of bounced back from this game statistically. Effort-wise, she was moving them puppies in the Final Four game. But this game, giving 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover with 1 steal, That's not bad. 8 of 14 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, and 3 from 3 from the free throw line. She looked WNBA ready. She looked WNBA ready. Like, I'm not even going to lie, bro, because she going to the league. Like, she getting drafted. We just need to talk about how high can she go. Because if she could play like this consistently, shoot. I'm not saying number one pick. That may be a little bit too much. But a 6-foot guard playing like that, I could see her. And on top of that, she averaged about 13 points, shooting 54 from the field, 39 from the three-point line, and 86 from the free throw line. That's not bad. And in her career, she's never shot lower than 46% from the field. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an improved player. I can see her going potentially top 5. Like, South Carolina really met its match. And UCLA, we got to tip the caps to them. Because, again, ladies and gentlemen, they kind of defied odds. I'm still surprised that they won against the Texas team. Texas had to have there was just a lot. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, this was a lot of entertainment across the board. Shout outs to UCLA for getting it done. Lauren Betts, this might have helped your case out for potentially going number 1. We have some first rounders to talk about on this floor. We got Taniyah Lotson and Raven Johnson from South Carolina. You could say Joyce Edwards if she was old enough to go. Then you got here Lauren Betts, Gianna Neebkins, who shoots 40% from the 3, by the way. And she's been doing that for quite a while. I said just last season she might go top 5, top 6, and that looks like it might happen. Kiki Rice was getting the bucket out there. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I already told y'all what Gabriella was doing. Like, this was a quality team, and it's cool to see seniors end up getting the job done. They've had a really solid season, going 37-1. That's not bad. That's not only losing one game is pretty spectacular. So again, ladies and gentlemen, kudos to UCLA. Kudos to them for defying my odds. Because again, I thought UConn might win it, even though I thought others had a possibility for sure. Because again, I wasn't gonna be foolish. I thought South Carolina could have beat UConn. I just leaned UConn. I thought Texas could have beat UCLA. That's why I leaned them. But they defied odds, like I said. So, again, congratulations, ladies, for getting a bucket. All the starters got a bucket easily. Multiple buckets, actually, because all of them got 10-plus points. That's how you win. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you missed the games, go to YouTube. Watch the games. Watch the highlights. Listen to the audio. Hear the excitement in my voice. This was truly a phenomenal weekend. Even though my Blue Devils could not get the job done in advancing to the Final Four, it's understandable. Because you know what? We lost to UCLA. And if I'm being honest with you, bro, yeah, we lost by 12. I don't remember a team being up against UCLA like that. Like, I don't think Texas was. South Carolina was not. So that makes me think, dang, Duke could have actually, you know what I'm saying, done a little something. That's crazy work. So I appreciate you, UCLA, for giving me, as a Duke fan, some optimism. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So I will be talking about the WNBA draft predictions or expectations, however you want to classify it, in the upcoming episode. So please make sure to like and subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone about women's college basketball, the WNBA, and also my show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you are all having a good one. Take care.